Hi, welcome to ShowMeTheCurry.com. I'm Hital.
I'm Anuja, and today we're going to show you how to make a very festive dish from the southern part of India, Avial, from the state of Kerala and parts of Tamilnadu. So this is like a very wholesome dish, I think, and it's made for most of the religious and festivals and basically any kind of feast. You got to have Avial.
And of course, lots and lots of vegetables, so it makes it super good.
Right.
So here are all the vegetables that we're going to use today for our Avial. First of all, we have Suran. This is an Indian yam, and if you can find it fresh, then perfect. It needs to be peeled and cut. We couldn't find it fresh, unfortunately, so ours is frozen, but it works just as well. So this is Suran.
And here we have some carrots. Again, one of the things, very important things about Avial is you need all the vegetables cut the same style and the same size. This is how we're going to keep all the vegetables. Basically a couple of inches, 1.5 inches long. So we got about a cup and a half, a little over a cup of each of these vegetables. So a little over a cup of carrots.
We also have green beans. We just took these and again cut them in 1-inch sizes. If you can find the string beans, which is the chori or the real long ones you find in the Indian shops, those work the best. They're preferred over these, but these work just as well if you can't find.
Right. And over here we have Tindora or tondli or kokar. And again, we've done the same thing. We've cut it, long finger like cut pieces to it.
Right. And here we have winter melon. This is also called ash gourd. And again, this is sold at Indian shops. Usually you won't find the whole thing because it's huge, and it's sold in pieces, luckily. And you can just pick up a small piece. You have to peel it and then again cut it into your julienne sizes. And the one thing to remember about this is you do have to peel it, but the skin is really, really tough. So get yourself a really good peeler and get that skin off.
Right. And over here we have yellow pumpkin. And again, it has a skin. You can find it at Indian stores. It has a skin. So you have to peel it. And this is the last vegetable we have. We're going to use actually. This is a raw plantain or a raw banana. This is how we're going to cut this. We washed it, of course, and we're going to keep the skin. We're just going to chop off the ends, and so let's say we're going to use this much. You just take a peeler, and just the ridges over here, you just kind of lightly just peel it with a peeler. But if your banana is like very tender, you won't even be able to find the ridges. But here, for example, I just found one really big one because this part tends to be a little chewy. So you just kind of peel it. There you go. And then we're just going to chop it the same way we did those. So in this particular dish, you do eat the skin. It just gets cooked. There you go. Perfect. Now, since there's so much chopping involved in this particular dish, these bananas actually turn black very soon. So one of the tricks is just take a big bowl of water, put a little bit of turmeric in it, and as you keep chopping, just keep putting the banana in there so that they don't change color and they still look pretty. So we're going to go ahead and just chop up the rest of the banana and go on.
So we have a nice large pot on our stove on medium heat right now, and we're going to be using coconut oil for this recipe. It has a really nice flavor and it gives you a really authentic taste. We're going to add 1 tablespoon of coconut oil and let that heat. And once it's hot, in go our green beans, carrots, Tindora, yellow pumpkin, winter melon, and Suran. And here's our plantain.
And give it a mix. So what we're going to do is we're just going to let the vegetables coat in the oil, just about 3-4 minutes maximum. So we have used these particular vegetables because that's what we could find. But Aviyal, basically you can use a host of other vegetables also. One of the, authentic vegetables that you're supposed to use is drumsticks. But we couldn't find any. And the ones that we get over here, we don't get the fresh ones, we only get the frozen ones. And the frozen ones are like this long and they just tend to be very tough. And if you try cutting them, they all fall apart. And to put it in there is just a big mash. So we skipped it, but if you can lay your hands on some fresh ones, by all means go for it. It's going to taste fantastic, absolutely great. But other vegetables you can use are ridge gourd, you can use peas, people use peas, but anything that doesn't mash and holds shape well. So you can use whatever you can find.
And even potatoes are really good in this recipe. So our veggies have been cooking for about 3 or 4 minutes, and we have a cup of water here, but we're going to add about half of it right now, and if we need more we can add it later. We have 1 teaspoon of turmeric powder.
And mix. And once it's mixed, we're going to close it and allow the vegetables to cook. But just keep an eye on it. You don't want, there's very little water and you want to kind of keep it that way because you want the vegetables not to get too limp. And so you just want to keep an eye on it and keep mixing it every few minutes or so.
So while our veggies are cooking, here's another step that we need to do. We have a small grinder here and we have 1 cup of sour yogurt. So if your yogurt is not sour, of course, you can leave it out for a little while and make it sour. We also have 1 cup of shredded coconut. And we have about 4 to 5 green chilies, but that's of course to taste. And we have about 1/4 onion here.
And we've used onion, of course, if you get shallots, please use those. They have a very distinct flavor and they taste fantastic in this dish.
And finally we have 1 tablespoon of cumin seeds. And we're going to close this up and grind it into a smooth paste.
And I'm going to mix this and make sure this is all going well.
And this looks like a smooth paste, so we're done with this.
Alright, the veggies look done. You can just taste, pick up one and just make sure it's all done. And we're ready to actually add in the coconut and the yogurt.
It looks so good.
Yeah. And mix.
We can also add in our salt at this time.
Now this has got very little gravy because we made it so that we can have it with chapatis. Now if you do want to have it with rice, don't add more water to it. Add some more yogurt. Just beat up a little bit more yogurt and just mix it. And we've reduced the flame on a low because you don't want the yogurt to separate. So you have to just let it come to a very, very slight, almost boil.
So we used green chilies, of course, to spice this up, but if you want a little extra kick, then while we were cooking the vegetables, you could have also added a little bit of red chili powder to taste, and that would work out great.
Right, so it's come to a little bit of boil. I'm going to turn off the stove.
So our finishing touch for this yummy recipe, we have some curry patta or curry leaves, and we're going to take a few of those and put them over the top. And we still have our coconut oil, just a little drizzle over the top for flavor.
And just give it one final mix so that the curry patta just flavors everything. And we're going to just close it and leave it aside for about 10 minutes and it's ready to eat.
So the Aviyal looks fantastic. It smells so good. And we just wanted to say a special thank you to Indu for this recipe.
And she's our local Lola Kuti here. So when I asked her for this recipe, when she was helping me with this recipe, we had all these Lola Kuti jokes going on. So I have to call this a Lola Kuti special Aviyal. So enjoy your Aviyal and join us again in another episode of ShowMeTheCurry.com.
Adding a pinch of spice to your life.